Good morning and welcome to our Saturday show. It's normally a Friday show on the mark, and once again we got Shahil with us, and welcome Shahil. And
thank you, Mark.
To all the Mauritians, Eid Mubarak. Racing is obviously on Sunday due to the Muslim festival, and I'm really looking forward to a nice day's racing. It's quite a tough card to get through. Myself and Shahil, as usual, we're going to help you as best as we can. Hopefully find you a banker and a value bet later on as well as we go along, and hopefully by the end of the show we've helped you to make your selections for Sunday racing. Let's kick off with race 1. It's a 1500 meter 0.26, and I personally like Radlet once again. I think that he's really improved with those blinkers since they put the blinkers on him. His last win was full of running. I know it was in a 0.20, but he's got that come on look about him, and I think in this sort of field he could follow up. He's by no means a banker, but he is going to be my first choice. And like I said, he's a young horse. They fancied him a couple of times. Last time they slapped the blinkers on him, and he really won a good race with Sunil Basant. I think this time with Daniel Stackhouse, blinkers on again, I do give him quite a good chance. Shahil, any thoughts on Radlet?
Yeah, like you said, he's a change horse with the blinkers. His work on Tuesday with Tandraji was superb. You showed that on Joe de Gallo.
That's right.
So yeah, he's going with a good chance.
Okay, what else do you want to talk about? Let's get your thoughts on the first race, and then I'll talk a little bit about what I like.
I like number 7, Club. I think this horse, last time the 1400 was a bit too short for him. 1500 should suit him better. The bad draw, maybe he'll be a one-off. I just hope he gets a good cover. He should be right there. Zen Master with the barrier 1, he should lead. He maybe get the dream run of the race, so I believe it should be between these two.
Okay, Club, I've personally given up on Club, I must be honest. I fancied him so many times, and he's always let me down. Probably when I do write him off, he's probably going to come out and win. One horse I want to touch on is number 3, First Crusade. I see they've put the blinkers on him. He ran just behind Klopp and Zen Master last time, but it was his first run. Remember, he is a 3-year-old, and I think he's going to make a lot of improvement, this horse. And, I think the 1500 is going to probably suit him a lot better than what is going to suit a horse like Zen Master. He was finishing best of all between Zen Master and Klopp last time. And I think with that race under the belt, with the experience, he's going to be a little bit better. But like I have mentioned before, some of these 3-year-olds do run sort of good races first time out, and they don't always follow it up on their second start. So that's going to be my only question mark. But I do like First Crusade. And then obviously you've got to respect Klopp and Zen Master as well. I'm going to go my trifecta. I'm going to stick with Radlet as my first choice to beat First Crusade. I think it's going to be a fight out for third between Klopp and Zen Master. What do you like, Shay? What's your trifecta?
I'm going to go with Club for second, Radlet, and for third, First Crusade.
Okay, great. Well, that's the first race. Let's hope we get through if you are a pick 8 player. It does get a little bit easier later on. We have got one or two, well, I've got 1 or 2 bankers that I like on the card. Let's go to race 2. It's a 1400 meter benchmark 41. I like the look of Gameloft here. I'll tell you why I like him. I thought that if you go back to, he's had 2 very good runs this season over the 9.19 and 13.65 last time. I have to say it wasn't the most enterprising ride last time, but this time, if you go back to his form, his last win was over 1400 meter in a benchmark 41, and he was drawn 8 that day as well. He is a sort of horse that can come from off the pace, and I think that Gameloft looks like he's knocking on the door. And I think that the door is going to open for him on Sunday. I really do like the chances of Gameloft. And hopefully the stable bag's another winner. They have been battling a little bit. But I've seen this horse at training as well. And I like the way he looks. And I do like Gameloft. I think he's got a good chance on Sunday. What do you think of Gameloft?
Only the bad barrier, maybe. I don't know where he'll... If he gets a good position in the running of the race, he should be right there. But number 3, Kings County. This horse, on his South African form, he should be outclassed in this race. Even his training is very good. His last race was against Surcharge, who has come through to win the Daily News 2000. So I think you'll agree with me that if he runs on his South African form, he should be right there.
Well, that's exactly what I've written down in my book. I said he's got such good South African form. Like Shahil said, that run behind Surcharge is an excellent run. Surcharge, I think, has been entered to run in the July handicap. And you have to think in a benchmark 41 what Surcharge would do in this race. Obviously, it's all going to boil down to his fitness. I can tell his barrier trial was pretty impressive when I saw him a couple of weeks ago. And not only that, his sand track has also been very, very good. I think it's just obviously going to boil down to how he's going to handle the Mauritian race day for the first time. I have mentioned before, in South Africa, you're lucky if you've got 50 people on the race course. Yeah, you've got thousands of people. Some horses handle it, some horses don't. But I think if Kings County does sort of come to the races and he runs to his ability, he's probably going to be too good for this field. especially if you take into consideration that South African form. Then one other horse I want to talk about is obviously Antwerp. He finally got it all together after a string of places, and then his last run was a very good run to Gimme Green. We saw Gimme Green. I thought he was a touch unlucky on last week's Saturday, so that form is pretty strong. He is drawn 9 out of 10, but remember when he ran second to Gimme Green, he was drawn 9 as well. He can come from off the field. So Antwerp, I definitely give him a chance. I'm going to give you my trifecta, then I'm going to ask Shahil about what he thinks. I'm going to go with Gameloft to beat the newcomer Kings County, and Antwerp will be my third choice. Shahil, is there any other horses you want to talk about before you give us your trifecta?
Not much, because I really like the Kings County, so I'll go with him for the first place, and then behind him Antwerp and Gameloft.
Okay, great. Same three, just different format. Right, let's move over to race 3. It's a benchmark 1500 meter 40. It's a 1500 meter benchmark 46, and obviously Friend Request is making his comeback after a couple of problems last time. He was found with blood in his trachea. I think Shahil, you said he was found to be lame behind.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, let's hope he's got over those problems. I'm sure he would have, otherwise the stable wouldn't have been running him. But Friend Request, very, very impressive winner first time out. Last time when he pulled up with that blood in his trachea, he only got beat a length by Jumbo Man. It was a good run, and I remember he hit the front that day. Looked like he was going to go on and win it, but obviously that blood affected his chances his last couple of meters. And I see he has been treated as a bleeder, so that's obviously going to be in his favour as well. Unfortunately, he's got a very bad draw to deal with. He's drawn 8 out of 8. And I see when he won, he was sitting up pretty handy. So obviously it's all going to depend on whether he gets a position or not in the race. But I think Friend Request, he's obviously the foremost in the race, or the classy horse in the race. But he has got a couple of negative ticks to his name, and I can't bank him. There is one or two others that I do prefer in the race. I'm going to ask Shahil to talk about Friend Request, and then I'll just get back to the other horses. What do you think, Friend Request?
Like you said, he's got a couple of negative things going against him, like the 8th barrier. He should get a good position in the race, and if he's good enough, he should be able to win it. But my value bet lies in the number 1, No Resistance. I believe if this horse can get to the lead, which probably he would because of the barrier 1 and the 3 kg claim of Jami Ali Hussein. He's riding very well from the front. If he's in front left alone, I believe he'll be a big runner.
Yeah, I think Jami Ali Hussein's riding well from everywhere. Just had to look at that ride and rock on Geordie's. But I agree with Shahil. He's doing well. He's got that 3 kilos off his back, and he's using that 3 kilos to his advantage. And I suppose you're right. I think No Resistance, if you go back to his penultimate start where he went to the front and he beat Susie's Arrow quite easily that day, I think he probably would have needed his first run this season. Behind Noah's Ark, a good run. He is drawn 1. He probably will lead, and he might just be quite difficult to catch. One horse I want to talk about is Racing for Fun. I think we can ignore his last run. I think he ran last week, Saturday. But if you go back to his previous form behind Noah's Ark and Jolly Roger, Skip the Red, you can't ignore his chances. He's a horse that always gives his best. He's got 4 kilos off his back. I'm hoping Brandon Louis cracks it soon. He's a nice boy. He's a nice kid. I see he's riding okay. And I think that 4 kilos is definitely going to be in the favour of Racing for Fun. Remember, he's only been carrying 57 in a benchmark of 46. So Racing for Fun, you have to respect his chances. And then one horse I want to talk about is Green Flash Sunset. Remember, he was quite fancied by his stables first time out. He was declared a non-runner. But this horse hasn't got bad form. In fact, if you go back to one of his first runs in his career, he finished probably just under 2 lengths behind that horse, African Night Sky. So he's obviously has got a bit of ability. And I give him a chance as well. It's not an easy race, Shahil. My trifecta, I think I'm going to go with Racing for Fun. I think that I'm hoping that Brandon Louis cracks his first win. I think everything is pointing towards Racing for Fun. He's got that 4 kilos off his back. Only thing is he ran last week, but I've noticed some horses this season have run sort of 2 consecutive weeks and won. So, and he's done it before, I think, Racing for Fun. He takes quite a lot of racing. He handles his racing quite well. So I'm going to go Racing for Fun to beat Friend Request, and then Green Flash Sunset as my third choice. Shahil?
I'm going to go with No Resistance in front of Friend Request. And for further, I'll go with Dan. So we were speaking about him before the show. He's had his debut run last time after a year. He did very well, only 4 lengths behind the winner. He should be right there.
Yeah,
Place chance, maybe.
Yeah, 100%. I remember we were talking off air, and I was saying if you go back to this also South African form where he's running behind horses like Table Bay, Kenny, Tricks, Craven, these are all very good horses, and obviously I think he would have needed that first run. He is drawn 2. He might be just following No Resistance, and he could sort of surprise everyone in this race. It is a tough race, the third race. If you are a pick 8 or a pick 6 player, I would suggest that you maybe put in all those horses we spoke about, because it is a tough race, and we have got 1 or 2 bankers later in the card for you. Right, race 4, 1600 meter, benchmark 56, and this is where I'm going to tip you my value bet. Number 7, New Hampshire, excellent last run. He's taken a bit of time to get going, this horse, and I just feel that if you look back at his last 3 runs, he's running behind some decent horses. He ran behind Jolly Roger, who's in the race, Lee Star, and then last time was a very good run to Dream Forest, where he was running on quite late, and I just think that this time he is 2.5 kilos better off with Jolly Roger when they met on the 31st of March for that 2-length beating, and he could possibly turn it around. It'll be nice to see Amos Sadol have his first winner, and if he hasn't had a winner before the 4th race, this possibly could be his first winner. I'm going to make him my value bet. Before we talk about any other horses, I want to ask Shail what he thinks about my value bet.
Like you said last time, that was a very good run, only nearly 1 length behind Dream Forest. He faced quite some traffic problems in the straight that day. With barrier 5, he should be better placed this time. I believe he's got a good chance too,
Yeah, alright, great. And then what about Jolly Roger? Let's talk about Jolly Roger.
Yeah, I believe he's the horse to beat on form. He's looking for the hat trick. With barrier 7, I don't see any rapid horses on his inside, only Silver Snaffles on his outside. Maybe if you can work him up a bit in the early stages of the race, he should be right there. I believe he's the horse to beat.
Yeah, I think he is as well, purely on his work. His work has been very, very good. I don't know if you remember last time, I told you that for me it was he was the work of the morning on that Tuesday when he went out and beat Chili Con Carne. My only question mark with Jolly Roger is he's drawn 7 and he's stepping up for a mile for the first time. I see he did win a 1600 in South Africa, but he's led in the 2 1400s. You don't think the extra 200 meter will be a problem for him?
Based on his pedigree, he's by dynasty, so I don't think that should be a problem.
And also the fact that he's won in South Africa over 1600. In fact, I think that day he won quite easily, won by a couple of lengths. So Jolly Roger, I'm going to probably repeat myself. I've said it a few times on this program. I've always been a fan of Jolly Roger, especially last year, because especially when Donovan Mansour told me that he's a decent horse, he just lacks sort of confidence, and it looks like he's gained his confidence since moving over to the Pedro stable, and he probably could be, well, he's going, like Shail said, he's going for his hat-trick. Let's hope he makes it. I just think with that 2 kilogram turnaround, New Hampshire, especially over the mile as well, he's probably going to come and catch him towards the end. Any other horses you want to talk about, Shail?
Yeah, number 8, Silver Snaffles. I believe he should be the only front runner in the race if he gets past Jolly Roger, which he should go. The 3 kg claim will help him a lot. I'm always surprised to see that Daniel Stakas is riding Bouclet Top instead of him, so that he's at 56 kgs now, and if he's left alone in front, he should probably stay up there. Jamie Ali Hossein has won twice on him, so he knows the horse well. Should probably be in the trifecta.
All right, great. My third choice as well is Silver Snaffles. Exactly what Shail said. I've written down here that Jamie Ali Hossein has got a very good partnership with this horse. He has won twice on him. He's going to have 56 on his back, and from that wide draw, he's got a long time to come over and get to the front, and it's going to be interesting to see who actually goes to the front here, Jolly Roger or Silver Snaffles. But I'm going to stick with New Hampshire. He's going to be my value bet. I think he's trading around 700 rupees. My second choice will be quite close between Jolly Roger and Silver Snaffles. What's your trifecta, Shail, before we move over?
I'm going to go with Jolly Roger, New Hampshire, and Silver Snaffles.
Okay, great. Same 3 horses, just a different... All right, let's move over to race 5. It's a 1400 meter rating 60 plus. And like I said, we have got 1 or 2 bangers late on the day. I personally can't see Cara getting beaten here. Like we said earlier on, Jamie Ali Hossein riding well. This horse has got 3 kilos off his back. He's carrying 56 in a 60 plus. He's running Group 1 races with more weight than that. And finally, he gets a draw. If you just have a look back, he's really battled with some draws. And his work has been very, very good, this horse. I think they've made the right decision by taking the 3 kilos off his back. And looking at this field, I can't see a lot that's going to... Well, obviously, Nordic Warrior, from that bad draw on the outside, is going to probably want to... He normally goes off to the front, but... I think Cara might be on his bicycle already by the time he comes around. Shail, I don't know. What do you think? Obviously, Nordic Warrior is quicker, but do you think from that draw he's going to be quick enough to lead?
maybe they'll burn some fuel to get to the lead. Also, his stable companion Mutahadi is a front runner, and with 53 kg, I don't know which tactic they'll use with him, but I think, like you said, Cara will be in the box seat with the 3 kg claim and the second draw. Should be right there. I just think that I don't know if the 1400 might be a bit too short for him, because all his win was over a mile, 1500. Don't you think that 1400?
Yeah, I went back and I see that he has won 1400 in Mauritius, but it was quite early in his career. But I don't think it's. I think with that 56 kilos, we've seen how Jamir sort of uses that 3 kilos to his advantage. I mean, look, we were talking about Declarator, how he used sort of a lot of energy early on in the race, and I think that's where
his horses a breather in the backstretch, and that's
he's riding very well. And I think, like I said, Cara is a beautiful animal. He's a. I think that if he leads, or even if he sits in the box position, I think he's going to be too good for this field. The only horse I'm worried about is obviously 7th Plane. Was a cracking run first time out when he finished second to Nottinghamshire. He was running on quite well, and he's got 55 kilos on his back. He's drawn 3. To me, he's the only danger to Cara. But I'm going to stick my neck out and bank a Cara. Is there anything else you want to talk about in this race?
Yeah, obviously we got to respect Scott Snug. He's the choice of Robbie Fred. If there's a good pace like Nordic Warrior, Cara and Mutahadi goes to the front, he should finish strongly at them. So I'll go with the trifecta of Cara, Scott Snug and 7th Plane.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Scott Snug, as you all know, is one of my favourite horses. He always runs a good race, and he's finished in front of Cara before as well. So, like you said, Robbie Fred, I don't know if it was his choice or if the stable decided to put take the 3 kilos off Cara. But if you watched our Tuesday show, I said it was going to be a tough choice for Robbie between Cara and Scott Snug. He's gone with Scott Snug, and but at the end of the day, I think that Cara, in my opinion, if he gets that soft lead, or even if he sits in the box position, he's probably going to be too good for them. Right, let's move over to the 6th race. It's the second leg of the championship, the 3-year-old championship, and it's a very, very exciting race. I've been looking forward to this, sort of a bit of a rematch. And my first choice, number 2, Kudu 2. I think the fact that he's now carrying level weights with Zodiac Jack. Remember, there was I think it was 5.5 kilos. Was it 5.5 kilo swing?
Yeah, probably.
It's a 5.5 kilo swing. Last time they met, Zodiac Jack carried 55. He carried 60.5. They're now carrying level weights. He's drawn 1. I can tell you this horse is flying in training. I showed you his work on Tuesday morning. He's doing very, very well. And this horse just looks like a racehorse. He looks like a very, very nice horse in the making. I'm going to make him my first choice. Richie Mullen in the irons. I know that Richie thinks he's quite a nice horse as well. So Kudu 2, he's going to be my first choice. What's going to be your first choice in this race?
On the entries, I'd really like Kudu 2, but look, after the draws came out, I really like Zodiac Jack. I believe with the second draw, he'll just be behind the leader. I don't know, maybe Kudu 2 could lead, because his only win in South Africa has been from the front. Coming back to Zodiac, I believe he'll be in the box seat again. Cedric just has to quicken up turning in for home. I believe he should be the horse to beat. Even his work on Tuesday was very good. He doesn't show any sign of tiredness, so should be right there.
Yeah, look, there's no secret. Zodiac Jack is a very, very classy animal, and I just think that last run wasn't necessary. I see he went into that race as a 35. He got a 6-point penalty, so he probably would have come into this race sort of 3 kilos less than Kudu 2. And I don't know. I think the fact that we're stepping up to a 1450, I think is going to suit Kudu 2 a lot more than Zodiac Jack, and I think Kudu 2 is just going to get the better of Zodiac Jack. I am a Zodiac Jack fan, as you all know. I think he's a very, very good horse. You just have to look at his South African form, where he's run behind some very, very classy horses. Kudu 2 never did that in South Africa. He never had the chance to run against sort of the horses that Zodiac Jack has run against. But I'm just going purely on their last run. I think of that 5.5 kilo swing, the fact that they're stepping up to a 1450, I'm going to go with Kudu 2. And then one other horse I want to talk about. Well, he ran in the same race. In fact, he was only half a length behind Kudu 2 last time. That's number 4, Captain Falcon. He's made a lot of progress as well in the training, and he is drawn 7. I think that this horse is going to probably try and lead like he did in the 990. He shows a lot of speed, this horse, and I think he's going to be my third choice. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give my trifecta. I'm going to cross over to Shahil. Maybe he's got a little bit more to talk about, but I'm going to go Kudu 2, Zodiac Jack, Captain Falcon.
I'm going to go with Zodiac Jack to beat Kudu 2, and for third I'll go with Captain, my captain. This horse is working tremendously well. He has come on leaps and bounds from his 2 first run. Only the bad barrier puts me off a little bit, but I believe he should be right there for a little place in the top 3. Okay,
there has been a little bit of talk leading up to this race about Captain, my captain. He is pretty well fancied from the Reset stable. Right, race 7, 1850, benchmark 36. And once again, I'm going to banker the Robbie Fred Gilbert Reset combination. Well, sorry, my previous banker, the Reset was Bypass. I don't think he's a great horse. When I say great, I don't think he's going to go through the divisions, but it's just such a weak field. And his form just sort of, he stands up heads and shoulders above everything else. I really like Bypass. I think that the step up to the 1850 is going to suit him down to the ground. His work has improved a lot. Robbie Fred, drawn 3. Everything is in his favour. I'm going to make him quite hard to beat.
You've said it all. I also like him a lot, and I'm also going to banker him.
Okay. If we go back to any sort of challenges, what do you think is going to be his biggest challenges?
I believe Seeking the Dream will be a big danger because he's working well. Last time the 1400 was a bit too short for him. He's coming back to 1850, which should suit him better. Also, the number 1 Roman Emperor. His South African form, he's done well over 1950 and even 2000. He should be able to handle this 1850 very well. He's drawn 2. He's got a 3 kg claim, so he also should be right there.
Yeah, I do agree. I think Roman Emperor looks like he's ready to make some improvement. I think he's run behind also like Gimme Green and Glorious Goodwood, which is a lot stronger than what he's taking on. He's going to carry only 59 with that 3 kilos off. Jamie Ellison, once again, he's riding on top of his game. I suppose he must have a chance as well. But I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to bank a Bypass. I think he's probably just going to be too good for them, especially over this 1850. He's not taking on the best field, with all due respect to the owners of all these horses. I just think it's a weak field, and he's just got that look, that come on look about him. Right, let's talk about the 8th race, the Lucky Last, and it's a 1365 benchmark 31. The first horse I want to talk about is, well, I suppose there's 2 horses I really like, but unfortunately the one is drawn got an excellent draw, the other one's got a bad draw, and I think if the draws had been reversed, I probably would have reversed my decision. But I'm going to go with Storm Clipper. I can't see anything really taking him on up front. It was a very, very good win last time in that 990 where he led from that bad draw. I was surprised how much speed he had, and he just went on and won very, very easily. In fact, he won by 3 lengths, and he has won a 1365 before from the front. Looking at this race, I think he's going to be able to lead again. Shail, what do you think? Storm Clipper, do you think he'll lead?
Yeah, probably with the barrier 1 and, like you said, no real front runner on the card. You should probably lead, yeah.
Yeah, and Mamba Rock, what can you tell us about Mamba Rock?
I love this horse a lot. I've seen him in training this week. He's in superb condition. Only the 9th barrier is a concern, but I believe Robbie Fred has got the experience now where to place him. I'm going to make him my first choice, Mamba Rock. The last time, we got to watch the first race to know if the form will be franked. But I believe Mamba Rock should be the horse to beat in this race.
Okay, so you're going Mamba Rock, I'm going Storm Clipper. The only reason I'm going Storm Clipper is because of the draw. I just think in Mamba Rock, that 1365 draw 9, it's never easy. I know I've ridden here a few times, and when you get that draw, it really just boils down to luck. But maybe Mamba Rock's probably just a little bit better than what he's taking on, but he's going to need a lot of luck. So therefore, I'm going to stick with number 4, Storm Clipper. My third choice, in fact, there's only 3 horses I really want to talk about, is Rambullion. He's run some very good races this year. He's at 2nd, and then last time beaten less than a length behind Mooney. And I think that in the 1365 is probably going to suit Rambullion a bit better than that 990. I'm going to make him my 3rd choice. So my trifecta is going to be Storm Clipper, Mamba Rock, Rambullion. Shail?
My choice would be Mamba Rock, Storm Clipper, and for third I'll go with the newcomer Red Indy. This horse has got some decent South African form. He's 22nd behind a horse called Sir David Bell, which is a very good horse from the Mike de Kock stable. I don't know, have you seen him at training? I believe he's quite not such a good looking horse because he's been unshot behind.
Yeah.
Did he misbehave a bit at training?
No, I think he's been alright. To me, just from what I've seen in training, it just looks like he's going to probably need his first run. But I could be wrong. I mean, you know, these sort of races, you never really know how good the first timers are, how well they behave themselves, how they experience the track. So, but I don't know. He's just got that sort of look that he's going to need a run. To me, similar to sort of Silver Rock and Klopp and those horses. But he is a nice horse, like Shail says. He's run some decent races in South Africa. Probably worth considering for places. But I'm going to stick with the trifecta that I mentioned. What's your? Oh, you've already given your selections, right? Okay, so let's talk about our bankers and our value bet. I'm going to give 2 bank. I'm going to go. I'm going to take a chance because I can't afford to take these massive pick 8 bets. So I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to bank a Cara and I'm going to bank a Bypass, and then I'm just going to play around a little bit. I'm going to take a pick 8. Hopefully I catch it, and hopefully you won't see me on Tuesday morning. Shail, what's your bankers?
I really like Bypass too, and maybe the newcomer Kings County. And also for my value bet, I'll go with No Resistance. I believe if this horse is left in front alone, he should be right there.
Okay, my value bet, I'm going to stick with New Hampshire. I think he's that extra 200 meters, the 2.5 kilogram swing on Jolly Roger. I think New Hampshire could pull it off. I hope so for the Sir Doyle stable. Be nice to see them have a winner, just take a little bit of pressure off. Well, that's all we got for you for our show. Have a nice Sunday's racing, and we'll catch up with you on Tuesday morning. Thanks very much for joining us, Shail. Once again, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much.